Hi, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to solve the power flashing issue on the IDS X64 panel. Basically what it comes down to is the battery problem. Now when this is flashing, it usually means that the mains supply is offline. Maybe Eskom is having load shedding or something like that. But if it's flashing and your mains is on, meaning the electricity in your house is on but it's still flashing, you could go and press and hold number 7, and then you'll get the trouble view, and you can see it says battery trouble. Now maybe if you've just had an outage, a power outage, it might say that as well. Then you'll press hash and usually you've cleared the error and that would go away. But if it's still flashing, well, now it's time to go and have a look at the 12-volt battery at your alarm panel. Right, so I'll take you over there now. Right, so once you've located your battery, here it is. This happens to be a 7 amp hour battery. It's a 12-volt battery. This is the common one for alarms. Now, the first thing you want to do is actually just take a measurement. Now, if you're not somebody who's has a knowledge of electronics or electricity, then this step might be a bit challenging. You don't have to do this step, but this is for people who are actually wanting to fault trace and find out what the fault is. Now, just let's take a voltage measurement on the battery. If you look, I'm going to put the negative on the negative and the positive on the positive, and just get a reading on my multimeter. Now, can you see that the reading there is 10.4 volts? That is way too low for the battery. So what is happening here is this battery has probably got some dead cells in there and is actually bringing the charging circuit of the IDS X series alarm, and it's actually pulling it down. So if I disconnect the battery now, all I did is I just pulled that terminal off there, and now if I measure it, just the terminal without the battery, you can see it's 14.1 volts. So that is telling me that the IDS alarm is wanting to charge the battery, meaning the voltage from the IDS panel is at the right level. It is above 12 volts. It should be above 13.5 volts, 13.3 volts. Right, if it's above 13 volts or 13.3, 13.5 volts, that's telling you there's nothing wrong with your alarm panel. The problem is the battery. Now let's just measure the battery itself. Remember, it's unplugged from the alarm. Even though the positive is still plugged in there, it doesn't have an effect. And you can see, look at that battery voltage. It's 9.8 volts. That's telling you that this battery is now on its way out. You can purge this battery, chuck it out. It is now finished. So I'm just going to show you how to disconnect it. Now, you should be very careful when you do this. You don't want to short out the positive and the negative, because you might damage your main board of your alarm system. So the best way to do this is to just either keep them separate while you're doing it, or do them one at a time. Now here is a replacement battery. This happens to be an IDS 12 volt 7 amp hour battery. Right, so what I'm going to do is, in order to stop any option of a short circuit, I'm going to plug in the negative on the new battery right now, and then I'm going to take the positive from the old battery and put it onto the positive of the new battery. All right, so now I've got the positive on the new battery just like that, and now I can take a measurement and also remove the old battery. So there's the old battery coming out. Okay, so there is the new battery, and it's always a good idea to put a date on your battery so that you know when it was installed. So there I've just put the date May 2019. Now if you want to, you can just check the voltage at the moment, and this is 12.7 volts. So obviously battery needs to charge a bit. The voltage will pick up over the next few hours as the battery charges, and then the battery trouble error will go away. So that is how you change the battery on the IDS X64 alarm panel. Alright, so the battery has been charging for over an hour. You can see the new voltage of 13.23 volts. So healthy battery, no dead cells. Remember before it was about 10 volts, so it means that the battery was pulling that charging voltage down, whereas now you can see the battery is allowing the voltage to increase and to actually stay above 12 volts, showing a healthy battery. Right, if you're still getting the flashing LED, just press and hold 7, the trouble view, and it may still say battery trouble. If you clear it, it'll go away because the battery is now healthy. So that brings me to the end of this video. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching. Cheers.